Bucky, the term must win is kind of overused, and I know y'all have 6 games left, but does it apply?
Good question. I think I would say, I would never put a pressure on our team in that. I think must play well at this time of year is probably what I would say. And that's going to take care, of what you're asking, right? So I think, we must play well. We didn't play well in the last game at all, and on the other side of the ball, we were very fatigued in that game. We had a good practice today. We looked fresh. We looked good. So I just think we got to play well tomorrow, and as you come down the home stretch, that's what it's going to come down to. We've gone through the gauntlet of our schedule. We still got good teams on them, still got away games on it. But it was a tough ground we've gone through. And, going forward here, we got to focus playing our best basketball. And, they're all good teams, but the stretch of games, the timing of the games, the day of rest in between the games, I don't think they'll be as challenging as what we just went through.
What did you learn about your team during this gauntlet?
During the what? I'm sorry.
You said during this gauntlet, like the 5-game
Yeah.
stretch. What did you learn about the team?
Well, we played 5 games. We're underdogs in 4 of the games, right? We stole one at Georgia. We gave one back versus Missouri. And I don't say that to negate Missouri. I just mean at home, on paper, we should probably win more of those than we lose that one. And they're a good team just on paper at home. Neutral site, their place, anybody's game, obviously. I learned that when we got to the end of that one versus Vanderbilt, we had guys just after going through this deal that were very fatigued within the first 4 minutes of the game. And so, we're going to have to trust our depth a little bit more when that's the case. Our group that comes off the bench was a lot more fresh and probably played better than our first group in that game. So, I think we're going to have to trust our depth more, trying to find the balance between rest and staying sharp. And but I think at the end of it, I think that we may be on to something. And I think that in the games, if guys can only play, you got guys that played well all year long, but they can't give you everything they got, they just got to play a lot shorter minutes.
Sounds like you guys maybe altered a little bit of practice the last couple of days due to some of that. Just what exactly have been the practice parameters and just kind of the thought behind that? And have you seen some benefit from that as well?
I thought they were good today. They were fresh today, the majority of them. I think the benefits, our team, as we know, is not the tallest team. So they have to be a fast team, have to get up and down, need to be able to play well from behind the three-point line. And, to do that, you can't be in slow motion out there, right? And so our focus has been doing everything we can, not worrying about strategy as much as that our players are playing optimally. There was a time where, and this doesn't happen very much for any team, where I felt like every player on our team was playing an A-plus game some games. You look up and we make a very high percentage of threes down the stretch, and this guy played well, this guy played well, this guy played well, this guy played well. That doesn't happen a lot. In the last couple of games, we hadn't had that. And, to do that, they got to feel good about themselves. Their body's got to feel right. And, that's kind of what we're focused on. How can they be as fresh as they can be so we can play the way that we need to play?
Okay, I really hate to harp on this, but the struggle from Ruben continues. And how's he handling it? And do you have to, continuously show support, or is he just, understands it's just a part of basketball?
Yeah, in basketball, there's ebbs and flows of a season for a team and for players, and particularly shooters. He shot it really well today. We just practiced, shot it really well. But I think that the thing that he's got to focus on, if I'm not shooting well, what do I bring to the table to impact the game? Can I defend, right? Can I scrap for rebounds? Can I pass the ball and get other guys shots? And I think when you start doing that, well, everything else kind of falls into place, And I'm no doubt, he'll snap out of, not making as many shots as he has. He hasn't got as many clean looks. Teams are keen on him, obviously. But the more he can do with other things, the better he's going to feel about his game. And it seems when that happens that confidence is where it needs to be and everything falls into place.
You ever go through a shooting slump?
Yeah, we all have.
How'd you get out of it?
kind of what I'm saying. You start doing the other parts of the game, and then it just naturally finds you. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. It just naturally it finds you. It's like golf in a way, right? I mean, you know, you can have those things, and then you take 2 days off. Sometimes you come back and play your best, you know, and then you got to have that confidence when you play. But some of Ruben's deal has been that we're playing a little bit too slow in some ways on offense and on defense. And so they're able to key on him a lot more, you know, when the game is just half court, bone on bone. We got to get the game, you know, where he's able to get loose a little bit in transition.
Maybe just from a coach's perspective, when a team is in a funk or has an extended losing streak, just maybe from a mental standpoint, what's the hardest challenge in breaking that and getting back on track like you want to?
Well, I think that's why, as a coach, I'm always realistic. Like, that's why I think that I have trust with my players, and I hope I have trust with y'all. Like, I mean, call it what it is. Yep, we played 5 games. One versus the national champion, one at Alabama, one at Georgia, one at Vanderbilt, and one versus Missouri. We were an underdog in 4 of the 5 games. I expect to win every game. That's just how it is. We think that we can win every game. But we knew that was going to be a tough challenge. We won 1 of the 5. That's disappointing. On paper, it's not. People would say, yeah, it makes sense. We were in position to win 3 of the 5 with Missouri and Alabama. Could have won those equally. So I'm realistic that it's what it is. The feel and the vibe would be different as if the schedule was flipped and we just start 7. And I brought the stat up last night when I was at Rudy's. It's funny. So in the year that in 2016, when we won the SEC here, Texas A&M, there's a point in the season that A&M was 7-1, and they're 7-1, and then lose their next 4 games. Then on February 16th, 2016, they play Ole Miss and beat them, and don't lose a game until the conference tournament championship, and they won the SEC. It's funny how it works. Now we're sitting here, and on February 18th, we're going to play Ole Miss after starting 7-1, right? Lost 4 games, and we're right here. I mean, I expect that every game that we're going to win, I don't know. But the point is, you're going to have these through a season. And I think I built enough trust in my guys that we got to focus on playing good basketball. And, you know, I think it takes care of itself. I can say this as well. There's well more than half the teams in the league, I would say, would want to trade places with us right now. You know, still having home games, where we are in the league, knowing if we can get tomorrow to 8 wins with 5 to play, a lot of teams would trade places in a heartbeat. We certainly would have all probably signed up for that in the spring before the season started and before SEC play started. So we're in a great position. We got to capitalize on it and, you know, focus on what the heck we got to do to play good basketball. We did not play good basketball in the last game. Some of that's probably on me, not giving the right rest and getting their bodies right.
You mentioned leaning on your depth more. The way that Zach has been playing and, you know, Ali as well, have you had any conversations about potentially changing up the starting lineup? Or I know starters don't really matter in your system. Yeah. It's more about the 5 that end the game, but to maybe get that depth to make an impact quicker on the game.
We got to do something to balance the groups better in some regard. We're going to look at that. You know, I'm not big into your best 5 starting. I'm not even saying the guys who start now are our best 5. But we got to do something to get the groups a little more balanced here, because they certainly have. We certainly haven't got off to the starts that we want to the past couple games. That's for sure. And we can't have a situation where we're on the road. Look, I had someone from an opposing staff say, "Y'all are the hardest playing team in the league. That's what's made y'all really, really special and a very connected group. Maybe the most connected group in the league." And last game, they didn't look like y'all, you know. And so I got to look at, all right, how do we get back fresh? What are the reasons for that? Is there tweaks that we can make so that we can constantly bring the waves of energy we're used to bringing? So we're evaluating that. We could do something tomorrow to help with that.
this point in the season with teams having more and more film on you, do you find it more difficult to be effective? Just, I don't know, do you feel like teams kind of caught on a little bit to your stuff?
Well, I think that's every team. Everybody catches on as the season goes. It becomes harder and harder for every team. That's why you see scores usually drop as the season goes. Players' tendencies get exposed more, like we will, as the season goes, you're better prepared because you have more information on other teams to guard the other teams. That's natural with any team I've been a part of, any team we've ever played. The defense is going to get a lot better as it goes along. The player weaknesses get exposed more and more. The player strengths try to be taken away more and more. That's probably any sport. That's why you look at the college football playoffs. It's most of the time, if it's good on good, it usually becomes lower scoring games. And at the end of the day, it becomes a player's game in a lot of ways. What I mean by that is this: everybody kind of knows what everybody does. Ole Miss ain't gonna throw a surprise. We're not gonna throw a surprise. So now, when that starts happening in the NBA and college basketball, it becomes now all right. Starts to become more of a player's game. Right now, can you outplay the matchup here or there? So how can we give our players the best opportunity to do that with the confidence they need, with their bodies feeling great, and playing to give ourselves the best chance to do that, right? And I think that's going to be with any team with any team we play and any team that plays us going forward. You don't see many baseline out of bounds plays where teams are scoring. You're not going to see many trick plays. There's just not as much of that goes on this time of year. And dang sure when you start playing teams for the second time. I mean, really. So we're about to go and play a couple teams for the second time.
Got a little bit of a off-the-wall question for you. Got a chance to keep up or hear about y'all's student manager basketball team and just a little bit of the success that they've had playing other teams the night before y'all's games?
Are they playing it tomorrow? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know that they're freaking amped up about it. Like, I mean, they freaking stretching in the lobby, and they can act like they don't care, or they come back with broken hearts if they lose. So, I mean, Warren, right? I mean, Warren doesn't do anything halfway. So, I'll look up pretty soon. They'll be running more plays than we do.
You wish Rylan Jones could have another year of eligibility with some of the numbers he's been putting up in those games?
Yeah, I mean, we'll get ready for the scouting reports, and the guy we play in the game's not as good as our scout team point guard a lot of times. So he can do it, man.
Sticks out to you about Ole Miss?
They've been in every game. They've had some good wins. I mean, they played Vanderbilt closer than we did. They're, they've been there. All these records could be flipped in a lot of ways because it comes down to those last 2-3 minutes. Saying on both sides of the ball this year, the later you go, it becomes a player's game. They got some guys, a couple guys in particular, that can really rise to the occasion and make tough shots when the defense is, all glued in. So, you can't let those guys just go and beat you and, score 60 of their 70 points. But they play good defense, and they take away the rim on defense, that's for sure, and they're maxing out in a lot of ways in that area because they're not the tallest team. They're not huge. They're similar to us. So they're maxing out on defense in the way that they feel can fit their team best.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, boys.